going to be on very, very low heat here. Very minimal. Now it looks like it's too high up. Hi, and welcome back to Now TV Canada, live in Gatineau, Quebec. I don't have anything else to do except to cook from my kitchen to yours. So I have finally gotten around to cutting up garlics after working on the buns and stopping in between to do other things. It's literally turning out to be all-day cooking in my house in Gatineau, which wasn't the plan. Like, I'm not even sure how I'm supposed to go find the people that are going to want to buy this and eat this. I mean, you could contact me and say, I'll come and get it. Now, when I'm finished making the big, magnificent pot of chili, I do have the burner finally going on low, and I'm going to stick in the onions and all the garlics. I've managed to peel about 6 of them, so now I'm just chopping them. Let's see if I can show the... Oh, just try moving one of the books out from underneath it and see if that's better. Still can't see it, eh? See, I switched computers. The other one was too low. You can't see nothing. This one is there, but now you can't see me. So, might have to take away both of my photo albums. Still doesn't show the cooking, does it? But I might have to do that style, you know, from that TV show where you never see the neighbor's face and you just see the cooking going on. So I'm going to show you guys that I'm chopping the garlic because you can still hear me. So, you can see the bun here. Oh, before I go any further, I've already eaten one. Oh, it's so good. With fresh yeast, it would rise even more. But I mixed the flours. There's white and brown to make it healthier, more nutrition, good for the kids. And it gives a special flavor to it. This is a secret my grandma taught me. Now, which flours I use in the family, I can't give you that. But you can use whole wheat flour, half and half, or more white and a little less brown. And it just creates magnificent buns or bread. I better finish this. Back to chopping. So the previous tenants, basically either everything disappeared or it was destroyed. They might have even taken it with them. So I don't have a bread pan. And I don't have a proper cake pan. So, you've seen enough of me chopping, you know I'm chopping. I'm going to try and work on getting donations from people who have stuff in their home to help me replenish my house here, kitchen. Because if I'm just renting out this space often, it's obviously logical that having a brand new supply of stuff all the time for the tenants doesn't make any sense. Giving them brand new stuff at my expense and letting them destroy it when I'm away and then have to come back and do it again, it's not okay. It's not reasonable to do that. But using used supplies is good. And I've already spent enough cash buying cleaning supplies, which I'm lucky that I will be able to continue to use. So it's like an investment. It's not a loss or a debt, right? So if you have extra stuff, aprons, pots and pans and stuff that you're willing to help me as I build towards my pop-up restaurant idea on Boulevard de la Gap. And as you can see by what I put in the description, I'm looking for people interested in helping. So if you can do that and you want to do that, you can get in touch with me. And we can go from there to determine how easily we can do this successfully. And I have sent a message out to Tia Weston and the $1 House Girl in North Dakota. There are some nice people, some smart people in certain places in America. And I would think that visiting each other and enjoying each other's differences and styles on channels would be, fun and useful and entertaining. So I'm going to just keep slicing these garlics. I'm not sure if I have enough grease in that pan. I need to mince these some more. Mostly I don't have to do too much because it's already pre-mixed and I'm just mixing everything together pre-mixed. I can make all of this from scratch. But I'm just making food that I'm hoping other people will enjoy eating for the sake of helping me reach the dream of buying the $1 restaurant. Okay, so I'm going to put it into the pan. Oh, I don't hear any sizzling. Maybe I should go just a little bit higher. See, I got this idea when I was here last time. Everybody knows in Gatineau we have the Free Public TV channel. I want to have a sign language interpreter and somebody who speaks really good French and English. So it helps me come out of my shy shell and practice my French more until I'm comfortable again. I can read my French really well. I don't know why I can remember reading, but I'm not fluent and comfortable. So I can't work full-time on this side unless I'm self-employed. And the restaurant's a good way to do that. And the public channel, where we're doing like cooking shows and we're cooking specific things. And you've got 3 different people doing important things, peeling, chopping, and explaining what's going on. That was the original idea. And the whole 5 years I've leased this property here and loved Gatineau, that restaurant has been sitting there empty. So I can do this kind of stuff from the restaurant when I'm in town. And I can have people coming in from different places that I have vetted, who I know because I've tasted the food or have eaten at those restaurants, is good. I'm moving on to mushrooms. Mushrooms! I'm going to rinse these. You're going to watch me rinse them, proof that I do rinse everything. Rinsing. All right, we're going to put some of these in there. So yeah, we could do it like that, where it's live on those particular special chef visit days. And their specialty. So you can have like a fish Monday. You can have like a duck Tuesday. You can have a Japanese Wednesday. I do make some pretty good fried dishes, oriental dishes and stuff, mixture of things. I can make milk buns, but obviously it's their thing. They're way better at doing their thing in that way. But I may still do that on my own, but having mixed menu days with people that have got their skills to an art would make it fun and interesting and give people a reason to go there, and being able to share that experience live from Now TV would make, it worth watching now. The other hope and plan idea was to have other people at other places reporting for Now TV, telling stories about interesting things, positive things, good things, exciting things, fun things. so that we can all see that, there obviously is still good people out there. They're still loving the world. God is still taking care of us, and that he will continue to do so. The one thing I hate the most about checking my phone and stuff is seeing all the feed that comes in and reading through all the titles of stuff, and it's constantly negative, bad things. Chronically addicted to reporting all the death and accidents and things in all the parts of the world, obviously, except here. No, we can't talk about Canadian crime. No, that kind of crime doesn't happen here. We don't have freak accidents unless it's so big that we have to report on it, which then determines that, well, we have to tell the people something. So I want to do a Now TV channel kind of thing where we'll talk about what's now in the sense of what's going on that's good. Except for things like this with what I'm doing with the apartment, where I'm trying to get restorative justice, right? Trying to break even here and making sure I can replenish the apartment with things that I won't cry over if I lose again or if they get wrecked. As for the pop-up restaurant, essentially would love brand new stuff for that place. But what I like about the pop-up restaurants is people can just watch like the 20-minute buns. That's what it's called. It's a 20-minute bun recipe. However, I have to admit that 20-minute bun recipes don't really take 20 minutes because they have to essentially rise twice. 20 minutes is just usually the yeast rising. And then when you mix everything properly, the flour has to rise again. Sometimes you can already put them into buns and let them rise, and then they become supersized, and then you just bake them that way. And that's the reason they call it 20-minute buns. But often people will set one rise aside of just a big ball of dough. And then after that rise, they come back, punch it down, and then they do the balls. And my mushrooms are done, shoving it in. And then they made them into balls and put them onto the plates, and we're good to go. I think that's pretty much all. There is. But at my age, I was taught, by really smart, old, traditional women. So I'm like an early 19th century cook. I could totally do one of those off-grid cabin type style things and cook off of open fires and pots where you have to use special tools to move things around and stuff, and cook without these kinds of stoves. It would be fun, but obviously it's also, again, a case of all-day cooking, which I've determined Now TV is not going to be that kind of thing. Now TV is just about what's happening now, depending on circumstance, location, story, inspiration that I want to share until I have other people. It would be nice and fun to see guests, co-stars, different people to help, and just my friends and visitors, which I hope should be happening soon now that I've returned, so people can give testimonies, because that's essentially what I'm looking for in this video as I make this chili with all of you guys. I'm just looking for people to eat the food and give a testimony of how good it is. I gotta look for scissors. Oh, I really need an apron. Oh, okay, time for hamburger to be cut. All right. All right. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Great Grandma. Thank you, Great Great Grandma. Ah. I love my ancestors because they made me who I am, and I'm very grateful for that. Oh, the onions, the mushrooms, and the garlic are starting to sizzle. This is sounding good. Okay, I'm going to go get the roasting pan so you guys can see what size I'm looking at here. I don't know how many people in the neighborhood this is gonna feed. Oh, I found another muffin pan, but I still don't have the bread pan or cake pan, but I did find one glass square pan. So the idea is to fill this thing full of food for all of you. Hopefully if I can carry this, manage it, I can get a bus and go sit in the parking lot with a chair and just sit there with disposable stuff and have people help me. A pop-up restaurant. Gotta make sure it's clean. Gotta clean everything. Disinfected, everything's good to go. Gotta have happy customers. No, we don't want anybody to be sick. All right. Okay. I have a broken, it's a broken can opener. That I have to still figure out somehow how to use while doing this live with all of you guys. I have to get into these cans. I'm going to open the ones I don't need to use the can opener with first. So I've got 3 cans of that. And then unfortunately the other stuff needs this terrifying can opener. But I'm going to go rinse off the lids on these. All right. Stag chili. This is really good for when you're feeding lots of people and you have a very short period of time to put together big portions of food. It's also good to help people who are just learning, don't know a lot about spices. People who are afraid of spices, you can't really go wrong with spices as long as you have a pretty good idea of what you're doing. You don't obviously mix your pastry dessert spices with your cooking spices for meals, right? But if you have tons of, your cooking spices, Italian and sage and tarragon and rosemary and thyme, you can use all of that and stuff. Okay, so one lid is off. Into the garbage it goes. Smells okay. Second lid. All right. Those 3 lids are done. Gotta go back to mixing. See, this would be where having somebody helping me would be good because they could keep opening the cans, handing them to me so I can keep adding them to the pot. Once this thing gets too full of all the stuff, I'll have to switch it to the roasting pot. In the end, that's going to have to go in the oven. Okay. Gonna turn up the heat. Can't stand the heat. Get out of the kitchen. I'm really upset with all the copyright strikes because we can't have any fun with music. So if it's not my music or I don't have the right to do it, it's a problem. Do you know I have copyright strikes against all the superhero stuff that I was using as my opener for introduction to some of my episodes, like last year in Vancouver? Because YouTube doesn't have any concept of understanding when a writer is writing material that requires using that music. And because I'm not going to California to tell them all about my work and have them go, oh, yeah, I guess in your case you would be allowed to use that music, and it's not really a copyright strike. There's a problem when America thinks they can control Canadian artists and Canadian minds. You know, you can't copyright strike something that was made by Canadians and created in Canada and had hired Canadians in it when it was made. You can't take what's ours and copyright that, right? Superman was invented in Canada, created in Canada. The Superman movies were made in Canada, and a lot of Canadians were hired to work on all of the production sets for everything that was ever made related to Superman in Canada that was made in Canada. So they don't have any copyright power. They really don't have any authority to determine that this writer of the new superhero stuff written in Canada, that's going to be made in Canada, that's going to hire Canadians from using music from work that was already done by Canadians. Again, in the first place, like old Hollywood has got to go, and we need to move Hollywood to Canada. The new Hollywood's got to come over here, and then we got to connect with the good stuff that's going on in New York and in Europe and build a better future entertainment industry where they don't destroy people and own you like they did to Judy Garland. Now, her story was terrible, and she's not the only one. I mean, she didn't even reach 50. But they started giving her medicine to take to suppress appetite, wake her, and put her to sleep. And 10 years old, she didn't know up from down, literally. Never mind hunger in between. And we, you know, that's not entertainment. That's not having fun. We should never do that. All right, I think the mushrooms, onions, and garlic have cooked enough now. We're going to throw in the beef. Beefs are up. Hamburger is going in. This is what I would love, love, love to be able to do at my $1 pop-up restaurant on the pop-up days that I'm in there. It's a really good way for people to just slow down, enjoy where they are, have a good time, eating what they've ordered. I can't seem to get it all out of the bag, so I have to flip it. Now I gotta rinse off. Sounding good. Starting to fry. We got chili stag style. Thank you, Stag Chili. I'm glad I found stuff that was still here that I can try and do this with. I will do this with you guys until it gets so full, until it's too much, until I have to stop. When I have to switch to this guy in the oven, then it won't be entertaining anymore. So just a little while longer, and then I will switch to just putting up some videos when I am determined that it's done. And if people are nearby and they're hungry, they can come and get some. Oh, time to put that up. Frying up the hamburger. Should try opening something. We're going to try opening the tomato paste. Let's see how hard it is for me to open the tomato paste with a broken can opener. This is the problem with renting to people, right? This is what being a landlord is like, right? This is where people just think that people renting are made out of money, and it doesn't matter, right? We shouldn't be told that the can opener is broken and that it's, no big deal for us to have to replace the things that renters do. And it's really bad because there are some good renters, and this makes it really hard for them. It's like literally I'm just pinching it a little piece at a time. There's like this can opener section. I don't know if that'll work. But I'm stubborn, eh? I will get it open enough to get everything out. Ugh. What a lot of willpower it takes to do this. Thankfully, the blade on this thing is very sharp. Like it's sharper than the leftover kitchen knives I came back to. So if anybody knows anything about who used to own it or how I can get it for $1, the pop-up restaurant, it'd be great if somebody were to contact me about that while I keep looking. Anybody that can help me with stuff in French, just being friends with a nice person, go ahead and, reach out to me. Okay. I think I have determined that this thing has been opened enough that we should be able to get tomato paste out of here. Okay. I think we got it. We have an open can of tomato paste with a broken can opener. That is sheer willpower. Now I'm going to go back to the hamburger. All right, I got to find my strainer because we're going to need to strain all of this before I stick any of the stuff in. We want to get rid of the grease, reducing, heart attack syndrome. When you buy medium and lean and extra lean, obviously there's less. But really with regular, all you got to do is strain it. Okay, I got to finish letting that brown a little bit more. Oh, I need to clean this some more. Okay. Strainer. At least the strainer cleaned well. Straining time. All right, strain. Back into the pan it goes. Now, a plain and simple and quick chili would just have tomato soup, Campbell's, Heinz, the good quality stuff, Primo. Tomato paste is an option. If you just use red kidney beans, you have onion, you have garlic powder, and then whatever amount of chili you want, and you're pretty much good to go. I'm going to do this version. Oh. Got all the veggies in it already. Very messy. I just literally spilled some on the floor. So I have to go a little slower so that doesn't happen. This is where having an assistant comes in handy. I have been looking for the right intern, co-staff, forever. I have literally traveled across the country looking for someone that has a good sense of humor and is fun to be around and likes to have a good time. Okay. That's one can down of the vegetable medley, the 4-bean steak chili. All right. Oh, yes, the kidney beans are in there. This is working well. All right. Can number 3. Whew. I still have some more cans to open with the broken can opener. They're just starting to look pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see in there. It's amazing how much it can fit into one pan this size. All right. We're going to scoop out this tomato paste. Now you put some water in that tomato paste can. And you put it in there. Okay. Mix that tomato paste in. I'm almost at that point where it's going to have to switch into the roasting pot. And then it'll have to cook in the oven. And then I will just have to add spices. I'll show the pictures of all the different spices I used at the end when I'm taste testing the final result. But if everything I've done so far determines to look good to you guys and you think that having a pop-up restaurant where there's all kinds of fun stuff being made like this live that people can watch and then come down and eat looks good to you, would like to support, then go ahead and do that with all the information I put in the description. Volunteer to help. Volunteer's great. So I'm going to add another medley of veggies to put more corn in there. And then I'm going to add my Campbell's Chunky Chili. Thank you, Campbell's. I'm totally a Campbell's girl and a Kraft girl. Like, I can cook with that stuff forever. But it's really expensive now. So I'm just grateful I'm using stuff that's in the cupboards. I didn't have to buy any of it. And so if you guys can support what I'm thinking with that and the rolls I made, this would be great. And then give testimony of how good that stuff is. That would also be great. So I'm going to finish trying to fight getting these open with a broken can opener. I don't have a Swiss Army knife, but now I'm determined to go find one. All right. Thanks for watching Now TV Canada. Me cooking live from my kitchen to yours. Give me some votes and suggestions on what you think the new pop-up restaurant should be called. Right? Originally, I was thinking my kitchen, from my kitchen to yours. But then I thought it's such a small, cute little place. We could call it like the Love Shack. Do like classic songs. So then you have classic music playing. So I'm going to fight with these cans and finish what I'm doing here, adding the spices and stuff, checking the flavor, and see how much I get in that roasting pan and go from there. I'll be back, guys. Peace out. Superman signing out from Now TV Canada here in Gatineau, Quebec. Bye.